Welcome to this episode of the Cozy Cove Storyhouse. Our last episode covered the miracle at Dunkirk and the events of Operation Dynamo. Today, we will continue our series as we dive into the fall of France. So sit back and pour a cup of coffee or tea and enjoy this journey into the past. June 4th, 1940 passed, marking the end of the Dunkirk evacuations. It was the day where England's fathers came to the rescue of England's sons, a daring feat showcasing the fortitude of the British people. The evacuation did not come without its consequences, however. With the Allied forces retreating across the Channel, there was an open road for Hitler's panzers to Paris. German high command wasn't finished. The next phase of their lightning war had only just begun. Wasting no time, Nazi forces launched what was known as Fall Rot, or Case Red, the final effort to break the back of the shattered French army. On June 5th, over 100 divisions of the Wehrmacht began the assault with devastating air support from the Luftwaffe buzzing overhead. Despite being exhausted, confused, and alone, the remaining French army dug in along the Somme River, roughly 90 miles from Paris. Under General Maxime Weygand, they fought stubbornly for 10 more days, until on June 14th, the relentless German advances broke through French lines and captured Paris. Blistering fire from the Luftwaffe overhead, along with countless German troops pouring over the border, overwhelmed the otherwise valiant efforts of the French soldiers, hopelessly defending their homeland to the last. By June 16, 1940, the Prime Minister of France, Paul Reynaud, resigned and was replaced the next day by General Philippe Pétain, a French hero from the First World War. With the French government on the run and the nation in shambles, Pétain sued for peace, and on June 22nd, France and Germany signed an armistice. Hitler made sure to avenge past shame, forcing the French officials to surrender in the very same rail car that had been used for the Treaty of Versailles in 1919, marking Germany's end to World War I. With the collapse of France, Hitler now had the majority of mainland Europe in his grasp. The stakes of the world had never been more dire, with the dictator sitting upon the peak of his achievements. His Italian allies to the south were busy expanding their power to the Balkans and North Africa. Britain was against the ropes, with Churchill preparing his stubborn people for the bleak days ahead. Russia still refused to intervene. France was no more. In less than a year since the invasion of Poland, Hitler's empire had tripled in size, with a dark shadow of his iron rule stretching across a war-torn continent. Furthermore, a great power lurking in the east had been watching this German chancellor's successful lightning war. Imperial Japan had had its eyes on this growing block of Nazi power for quite a while, weighing how an alliance could further its own interests in the Pacific. As France fell, formal talks began between Germany and Japan of an official alliance. All the while, the New World, as Churchill had labeled the United States, watched with increasing anxiety. The nation was still scarred from their involvement in the First World War, and sentiments were still largely isolationist. Yet watching France be overrun, and their close friends in Britain desperately calling for aid, poles began slowly to shift, with the desire to aid Europe rising up once more. Still, the support would be minimal for a while, and Britain stood painfully alone in the face of that wicked darkness. The future seemed bleak for the little island, and the skies were black, darkened by the swarms of Luftwaffe looming on the horizon.